Good afternoon, this is Sean Golden with Golden Golding, here to discuss the basics of what you do when you're just sitting around and you get one of these certified IRS Letter 1058, otherwise known as an LT11 notice, letting you know the IRS is pretty fed up and they want to come after you for an intent to levy. Let's go through the basics. So, like I say, in our neck of the woods, we focus on international tax and reporting. In a common situation, person missed reporting an 8938 or 3520, they get a CP15 notice. They might get one or several CP 504, 503 notices. They might do the appeal, they might not. And then down the line, once they haven't paid or kind of just pushing it out and putting a hold on it has reached its endpoint, the IRS may issue a letter 1058, which is an intent to levy. Unlike previous notices, CP 504, CP 503, which you'll receive a few of those during the timeline, the 1058 is pretty scary. The other ones are a lot of bark, no bite. This one has some bite to it. If you don't get into compliance the way that you're supposed to, it may very well result in a levy against your bank account and wages. So it's a serious letter. There's an amount that's due and owing, and at this point the IRS is kind of done playing games. And so if they issue a levy, it can be very serious in the sense that it can impact your employment depending on what type of contract you have with your employer. There could be some collateral damage. With the bank, you have to be cautious because maybe you're tight on money, and so that money in the account is already allocated in your mind for things you want to spend it on. Well, if the IRS comes in there and just takes it out, yeah, there's things you could do after the fact to say that you needed that money for important necessities, but trying to get that money back, especially in this day and age, is a tough thing to do. So if you're thinking you get one of these letters, you're not ready to resolve it yet, you don't know what to do, you want to be cautious about what you have in that account depending on how important that money is to you. Of course, all money is important, but is it used for necessities and things like that? If you're out of compliance and you're getting these 503 and 504 notices, before you get to the 1058, there's some things you can do. You may want to consider an appeal, although there may be some impact on a strategy you want to use down the line, which is the collection due process hearing. Once you get the 1058, you could generally do a collection due process hearing, which basically will stop all enforcement and give you the opportunity to go in there and argue reasonable cause. Okay. The nice thing about that as well is if for any reason you're not successful before the settlement officer, it's normally a settlement officer, not an appeals officer, you have a more direct route to go to tax court. And so the IRS knows that, and so normally they have to consider the cost of litigation and things of that nature. And so you actually have some balls in your court, even though you may feel overwhelmed by the fact that you're getting these notices and what you can do. If you're going to do the collection due process hearing in response to the LT11, just be sure that you do it within 30 days. If you don't do it within 30 days, it turns into what's called an equivalency hearing, which is similar to an appeal and does not give you the right to go to tax court the same way that a timely filed collection due process would. And that's on a form 12153. If you're out of compliance before you receive any penalty notices, there's various amnesty or disclosure programs you can use. If you're willful, you would do the voluntary disclosure program, BDP, which is otherwise the traditional voluntary disclosure program. Since September 2018, it's used for both offshore and domestic. If you're non-willful, there's a lot of programs available to you: the streamlined procedures, delinquency procedures, and reasonable cause. We have a lot of free information available on our main website and our sub-website. You can always reach out and schedule a reduced fee initial consultation if you think it's appropriate. It's something that we handle here. Again, my name is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.